This is the Stockwell Eldridge Show, giving you the real-time information you need to make educated decisions about buying and selling in the world-renowned Twin Cities. Now your hosts and real estate experts, Jason Stockwell and Don Eldridge.
Good morning, Minneapolis, St. Paul. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Don Eldridge, RE/MAX Results.
And right out of the gate, we have some very important news, breaking news, if you will, that there's been a slight change. Nothing is bad or went wrong, or no one is fighting or anything like that. But the name of the show will be changing to the Stockwell Eldridge Show. So Don Eldridge with RE/MAX Results will be the partner on the show going forward. Very excited and happy about that.
Me too. Thanks.
And Josh Roche, great guy. He's still good friends of ours, and just went in different directions. And he may be back, actually, on a different show here on the station, potentially. So, but we have a great show for you today, and we have great guests, as usual, here with valuable information for you as homeowners, potential buyers and sellers. And first off, we want to start out with what's happening in the marketplace right now in the Twin Cities, and from a standpoint of mortgages with Jason Light with Envoy Mortgage, and from Dawn and I in the real estate market. So, Dawn, what's happening?
Oh, well, I did a little study before I came today. I looked up current median sale prices throughout the Twin Cities, according to the North Star MLS. So this is current as of this April 8th. So not actually this day, but April 8th this year.
Yep.
Edina, average sale price $399.9, up 5.8% from last year. Southwest Minneapolis is at $343,450. They're up 4.6%. West Bloomington, average sale price $235,500, up 2.5%. Plymouth, average sale price is $320,000, up 4.2%. Minnetonka took a huge leap. $300,000 average sale price, up 9.7%.
Wow.
St. Louis Park, I was a little surprised by. Average sale price is $237,950, only up 3%. I figured they'd be a little higher.
Could be that's probably factoring condos and stuff too, probably. But
Yeah. So that's where we're...
So that's good news. So
Yeah.
everybody, real estate sales, we've heard it all the time from agents. Like I said, we're not ashamed to tell people when it's a great market, great time to sell. Prices are up, and we meet with a lot of sellers every week. And we know now, we've talked about this many times on the show before, we know right now, we know what's good. So if you can take advantage of that and you're in the right, and the timing works out for you to sell, and now is a great time to do that. Go to the tcrealestatehour.com, tcrealestatehour.com, and you can click on there for a free evaluation from Dawn or myself, and you will see get a result back to you right away with what a snapshot of what your home would go for, and then we could actually look at it in person to give you very detailed pricing once we see it in person. Again, no cost or obligation for that. We'll go over later in the show. We'll be giving you some tips like we always like to do. How to buy a home that makes you money. If you're a buyer, you know someone that's buying. You know, all the prices are going up. Everybody, so buyers might be scared. Well, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up, and I might be paying too much. These tips will help ensure, with no guarantee, but help ensure that you buy a home that does make you money. And then we'll be talking about inventory and what you should do before you sell your home. And we have great guests to help with some of those items. And then also talking about some historical data. So we have a lot of good information for you. So Jason Light with Envoy Mortgage is doing pre-approvals left and right now. What's going on in the mortgage marketplace?
Well, basically we're seeing rates low again. There's a little bit of volatility. Mortgage applications are up, but the big kicker is there are more than I've ever seen in my career, which is 15 years now. When you look at the homes that are for sale per buyers that are looking to seek them, I'm seeing 6 to 8 buyers per house, and I've heard that. You may have
we had 5 to 8, depending upon the area. A couple weeks ago was what I heard from someone who studied the statistics from the MLS and the buyers. So the sellers just say, oh, your offer doesn't work, next. Oh, yours doesn't work, next, because they know they have people just waiting to buy.
They're looking at 3 or 4 offers at one time.
Yeah.
So I can't emphasize enough. Just do everything on the front end. And another tip that
For buyers, correct?
For buyers, yes. The more you have completed, the more you're leveraged to get that offer accepted. The other thing I would want to point out is, let's say you're pre-approved for a home of $250,000 purchase price. What I'm encouraging my buyers to do is back that off a little bit, maybe 10 or 20,000, and just expect. And don't go look at 250 because you're probably not going to buy that house for 250. So if you're looking at 230, 225, you might have to pay a little bit more for it, but you're not going to be pushing the edge with underwriting, and you can offer more. And if you have your ducks in a row with all the things that we talk about, that is going to look a lot more attractive than your standard pre-approval offer.
Yep, that's a great point, because many of the offers. So we put a house, we put houses on the market pretty much every week, and put one on the market recently. It went on the next day. No joke, and you hear these stories, but there's 3 offers on it. And so the sellers have called highest and best. The buyers are going over the asking price. So if they're doing exactly what Jason Light said, if they're going for their pre-approval price of $370,000, that's what this one was, and they're only approved to $370,000, and they want it, they're not going to get it because you have 3 offers already, and it's going to go over asking price. So that's a great tip, and if you need closing costs, you have room to add them in if you're not maxing out on your pre-approvals. So
yeah, we're looking at a lot of structured loans that are going to have the lender credit applied. So what that means is you're going to have a no closing cost loan. The lender credits, so you take a little bit higher interest rate, or just save. Make sure you have the funds to include those closing costs, because if you put in there seller to pay the closing costs, that's just it's worked great for a long time. It's not looking good right now when there's multiple offers on
sellers don't like it. I can't blame them, but it's part of the deal. But they don't like it because it's money right out of their pocket when you ask for that. So sometimes you have to think of adding that on top, or doing a program like Jason talked about where it's rolled into the mortgage, or saving and using your own money. So the other couple other things that you want to think about when you're buying is you have to get out there and talk to us, or realtors, Dawn and myself, so you can actually get a head start on it, because we know and see stuff that's coming on the market prior to it coming on the market. We have a great network of agents, and it's not something that most agents aren't doing it to hide information. We just happen to know what's coming on because they reach out to us, or we reach out to them and say, hey, we have this buyer and they want this. Do you have anything? Well, yeah, maybe. And then you never know. We've seen these matches happen many, many times this year, where those just simple conversations, or a simple one question to another agent, or an email reaching out, can produce a happy buyer and a happy seller without all the chaos of what Jason was talking about, of having 4 or 5 offers that you're competing with. So that's something you should definitely consider reaching out to us about. Reach out to Jason Light for any pre-approval questions. I did talk to a buyer recently, and they were floored at the jumbo loan pricing. I heard it's amazing right now for jumbo loan pricing from a standpoint of rates. It used to be way higher than, so if that's, and a jumbo is what, Jason? How high is a jumbo loan if you're looking at higher end purchase prices?
Basically anything above $417,000 is the best way to look at it. So
anything above $417,000.
Yep.
So, and there's a lot of, with the increased prices that we've seen, there's a lot more of those homes that are not available necessarily, but are selling that they weren't before. And the jumbo loan package is a great option now because it's the same or less than conventional typically. When before it was, I remember people just said, oh, general rule, 2 points higher. Just take whatever conventional is and add 2 points. And it really scared people away from conventional. From jumbo, and now that's back in a big way on jumbo to allow higher end buyers to get great rates and lock in long term on that big purchase. So,
And the other thing is that we're seeing a lot of activity with are the VA loans. So veterans
Yes.
out there
Yes.
understand that as a great program. It's fairly conservative. I love doing them. I've done them for a long time, and they're 100% financing.
100%. And shout out to the vets out there. Thank you so much. We do get a lot of VA offers, which are great, and we have very little issues with them as far as appraisal issues and anything like that. It's got a very good system. It's 100%. And if you have any questions about the loan process or purchasing, if you're a vet, we're happy to help with that. I do want to introduce our other two special guests, a returning guest, Don Doty. Welcome, Don.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Home inspector, probably what has more accreditation, is that a word?
Accreditation,
Certifications
education, and experience.
than most, any, if not all, inspectors in the Twin Cities and maybe even around the country. So Don will give us some great information. And then we have a first-time guest, Joe, with Drain Busters. And I've known Joe for a long time. How you doing, Joe?
Oh, real good. Thanks for having me here.
You bet. So if you can't guess what Joe does, Drain Busters, they clean out drains. And it's something that you'd be surprised at how, Joe, I'll let Joe talk about it when we get to the next segment about what happens. But Don and I in the real estate sales business, it happens a lot of times where there's issues where a drain needs to be scoped, cleaned, looked at, redone, you name it. And it's a big deal. Whereas it's something that you don't see. So out of sight, out of mind, buyers are like, oh, I'm looking at the house, I'm looking at the granite, I'm looking at the stainless. Just assuming, right? All that stuff's good, and then they move in and who knows, right, after that. So it's something you got to take care of on the front end. And Don, share a little bit about your company and your experience before we go on break here, because I got your book and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Jason. Back in '73, I started the company Home Place Builders and started off by building small projects. Ended up after 25 years of doing big custom houses around Wayzata, Lake Minnetonka. Broke away from that, started a company called Home Place Inspections in '93 till the current time. So I have about 40 plus years experience
Nice.
in housing. I've never worked for anybody. I've always worked for myself right out of high school.
So that everybody in this room has loads of experience, and we're here to help to be a resource for you in all your real estate needs, whether it's cleaning your drain, doing your home inspection with someone who has over 40 years experience, or Don and myself who have well over a decade of experience in selling, and Jason Light who has over a decade or more in mortgages. We'll be back soon.
You're the apple of my eye.